Dear colleagues, sorry for the delay. Now I give the floor to Presidential Administration spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Andriy Lysenko. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Now the information about the events in the ATO area during the last 24 hours. The Lugansk area, Stanitsa Luganska, there were 2 enemy shellings. During dark hours, the enemy used APCs, and in the second case, also mortars. Near Shastia and Bakhmutska highway, it was calm, and also close checkpoint Zaitsevo came under the fire of militants. The fire was delivered with the use of modern sniper rifle, SVK, Russian make. So the highest intensity of enemy fire was in Popasnyansky region. There they violated ceasefire several times, and heavy weapons was used actively. On the whole, during last 24 hours in the Lugansk area, there were 9 enemy shellings, including 1 mortar shelling. The Donetsk area, the occupants shelled with the use of large caliber our rear area. This was Arkhangelsk village of Yasenuvat region, that is 20 kilometers away from front line. Before dawn, the enemy delivered 2 series of shelling, launching more than 100 shells of 152 mm of caliber. According to the information provided by Chief Intelligence Department of MOD, this illegal order was given by Russian General Staff. The main military actions were in Avdiivka production area. There were intensive shellings delivered by the militants without break for 10 hours, both during the day and at night. The militants used artillery of different calibers and systems, and it testifies that there are several batteries at the frontline area. The number of launched shells exceeds 100. And also there was number of shelling delivered by the enemy near Lugansk and near Gorlovka, and also at the part of front line Piske-Opatna. The militants used mortars than the APCs. On the whole, in the Donetsk area, there were 18 enemy shellings, 10 with the use of heavy weapons. The Mariupol area, there the military actions continued to the north and in the south. These are Mariinsky region, and also part of the front line, Pavlopil-Shirokina. And in both areas, the enemy uses mortars, especially during dark hours. Ukrainian forces returned fire. The biggest number of enemy shellings was in Mariinka at checkpoint and adjacent territories. On the whole, in the Mariupol area, there were 21 enemy shellings, including 5 with the use of mortars. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, 1 Ukrainian serviceman killed and 2 were wounded. We express our condolences to the relatives of the serviceman who was killed. As it was stated yesterday, Russian National Guardsmen came to Donbass to increase morale and to prevent desertion from the ranks of the militants. In order not to meet with a so-called Zolotov Guardsmen, yesterday 6 militants from so-called 7th Brigade of the enemy left the positions without permission. 2 of them are 22-year-old Igor Shavkin and the 46-year-old Igor Pekalov. They fled being armed. And also 3 deserters from so-called 9th Regiment were detained, and one of them is 26-year-old Sergei Reva, was trying to resist while being detained, and he was heavily wounded. According to Chief Intelligence Department of MOD, the militants got new reinforcement.
And the train with ammunition arrived to Krasnodon railway station. 4 tanks with diesel fuel arrived to Mospena railway station. The security service of Ukraine detained an accomplice of militants who from the end of 2014 was on the post of deputy head of the education department with the occupational administration in Krasny Luch town. The woman actively disseminated Russian propaganda and was engaged in Russification of the education system in the town. Despite her anti-Ukrainian views, the women planned to get in Kharkiv region the status of labor veteran and the monetary benefits from the Ukrainian state. Now she will have fruitful communication with the Ukrainian investigators in Uledar. Law enforcement officers detained in a complex of militants at the bus station. The resident of Stepne village, Marinsk district, Donetsk region, he previously worked in the town of Olenivka in the penal colony. At the start of 2014, when the town was captured, the warrant officer of the penal colony went to the occupants. The verdict took effect against one member of DPR. She was involved in military actions near Slavyansk, Debaltseve, and Vuglegirsk. Ukrainian law enforcement officers prevented the attempt to take out the weapons out of the ATO area. The off-road car was moving from Donetsk to Ivano-Frankivsk region. The officers found a grenade launcher, RPG-22 propellant powder for RPG-7, 22 shells for automatic grenade launcher WOG-17, and an anti-personnel mine and 3,000 ammunition rounds. The group of trainers continued training military students in the training center of the National Guard of Ukraine in Kiev region. The training is conducted in the conditions maximum close to real ones on the intersected terrain and tactical fields. Guardsmen mastered the team play, and in several days they will have a field exercise. The military students will test their physical and psychological qualities. Thank you. Are there any questions, colleagues? There are no questions. Thank you. That's the end of this news conference, and the next event will be held on 2